Trace Esports just has to ban away these huge damage possibility champions because J-Team picked up 3 Bruiser champions wherein it could sponge away a lot of these damage from the teams, but so much lacking when it comes to damage.
Right. And that's where the marksman will come into play. Xayah, as I did mention, is X1's pocket pick. Tristana as well, a very good pick for X1. And they do have a very good amount of early game damage with the Renekton and the Aatrox, right? Like you look at this too, they can win team fights by themselves. So it's all about scaling well into the late game. We've seen some players go for the Orianna against the Vladimir, and that is definitely an option, especially with the way things have gone in the second bad phase for Trace Esports. They targeted down the counters to the Vladimir. They take away the Zoe, they take away the Kassadin. So what is left open onto the other side is a potential farm fiesta in the mid lane, and Orianna is good at that.
I love this, right? You have these bans coming from Trace Esports. That is a signal that they're heavily relying on Corn to be able to excel coming to game number 1 here. So J-Team banning away the Ashe just removes the possibility of those long-range engages, the utility bot laner that we keep on talking about for the side of Trace Esports. And it's that Galio would be the priority when it comes to the support role here for TE.
Yeah, which is interesting. They want their marksman. They want to hide their marksman, right? Which means that their red pick selection priority will favor Juju. So if it is going to be a Xayah, Varus is not bad. So this could be a Varus pickup for Trace Esports.
Could definitely be. No one could counter the possibility of that chain of corruption when it comes to those team fights like we did earlier today. With the Yasuo, always waiting for the chain of corruption to happen. So that could still be the option here for Juju. But a Mumu...
Nope. They cannot. They need a marksman. That's the rule.
They need the damage.
Yeah. Oh. Never mind. They want to over-amplify their early game damage and go for the Lucian instead of Varus. Which is, to me, a surprise. And by the way, Tak always do that. He hovers the Amumu for some reason since Season 1. And also, this guy loves his emotes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's personality showing through into the screens for Wild Rift Esports. And going in for Lucian as well. It gives them a little bit more towards that early game facing, considering they have a lot of late game champions into the vicinity.
Very good draft overall for both sides. It all comes down to execution. And we are still on patch 4.4a, ladies and gents. Patch 4.4b still has to wait for another week. That's the rule in competitive Wild Rift, right? So whenever a patch gets applied, we have to hold them back. We have a tournament realm or a tournament server for all our players to still play on prior patches, which really makes things a lot easier for everyone, right? Because that way, there will be no surprise factors, and you will be able to make sure that all those practices will be put to use.
100%. And now, game number 1 between J-Team versus Trace Esports. Can J-Team remove the undefeated run thus far of Trace Esports? And can Trace Esports have that sustainable undefeated series here in a CN conference? But we're jumping into the rip for game 1.
Which is super cool, especially knowing that they went for the Gwen as a potential counter pick to the Vladimir. Oftentimes we see the Zoe and the Kassadin. It's all about isolating the Vladimir on a corner, especially knowing that come 6 minutes of the game or 5 minutes of the game, the mid laner basically transitions over onto the side lane, which to me is an advantage for the Gwen. The Gwen can actually outlane the Vladimir on the side lanes. On the mid lane though, it will prove to be difficult, at least for the first few minutes of the game.
100%, right? It is Gwen who has to wait for level 5 to be able to really just pincer out a little bit more damage onto the Vladimir.
Ooh.
This time around onto the top lane. Actually, this is a very interesting Renekton pick, right? Because we've seen a couple of Renektons come through before into the draft compositions, but we all know that SZY, or well, rather Renekton in general, is targeted more so as a single targeted CC onto those champions, being the tank into the front lines and a sustainable bruiser. But it's not one of the priorities that we've seen thus far.
Which was actually what surprised me, right? Because oftentimes I see Renekton still as a very good option, regardless of you know what champions are in the meta. Because you know by himself he can win the lanes, he can provide a very good duo pressure setup. You know if you kind of want to set up a 2v2 on the top side, Renekton is very good at that. And the only reason why the Renekton is not favored as much is because, you know, come late game, you need that split push threat. And Renekton is not the best in that.
Yeah, 100%. Right. Comparison into the likes of Fiora and Camille. You have Camille with a hook shot, Fiora with the lunge. Be able to escape on those adversities, especially those counter ganks that we see from time to time with these speed pushes happening.
Yep.
And that's just not Renekton.
That's not
less when it comes to mobility.
Yeah, that's not where he shines. But with level 5 team fights, you know, at 5 minutes Renekton, if he ever completes his first item, a Black Cleaver or a Blade of the Ruined King, he can surprise your backline. He can actually burst down the Lucian, or maybe even the Vladimir. Give it opportunity, but Weiba
goes for the jump, cease and desist, followed up by counter strike, no escape. SEY has to use up the flash, and that will be the first blood for Trace.
Weiba diff, basically, right? Like waiting for the perfect opportunity. SZY not respecting a potential gank on the top side, and Weiba capitalized immediately as he turned level 5. And this is the best thing imaginable for Trace Esports, because you were able to burn the flash off the Renekton. You were also able to use the cease and desist just in time for it to be available at you know, at 5 minutes by the time that we have another objective to fight for. And although it looks scarier there for a second here in the bot lane, with Weiba already investing his cease and desist on the top side, he won't have access to the ultimate, at least for the next few seconds.
Yeah, it's a little bit more safer for the side of J Team into the bottom lane. That is why, right? You have a little bit more of the overextension to happen here. And now we're reaching that point where in level 5 is secured across the board for every single one. And that opens up the mid lane as well for the side of J Team, as we have mentioned a while ago.
And you look at the way the wave is on the top side. It's favoring Lee Sao. It's pushing towards the tower of Lee Sao. And so now Lee Sao can just do this. He can box out the Renekton, which makes it so hard for the Renekton player.
Attack. You have the culling as well to push out damage.
He missed.
Not enough. X1 is really low. Juju could go in for the execute, but will not go to commit. CF17 flashes over the wall to go into Galio, and that will be the double kill for CF17, trading for the support of J Team.
It's a 2-4-1 with DY surrendering his life. His explosive cast. Not sure what happened there, but slippery fingers maybe. Because he casted the explosive cast. Hit nothing. But in the end, it did not matter. Let's look at that replay once again. You look at DY. Boom. What? It's one of those moments in where you get to ask what happened there. But it did not matter. Juju also did not have enough mana to run away from CF17's pressure, and that's a double kill that you're gifting over to the Aatrox.
Corn a little bit in danger here. Has to use the Sanguine Pull because of CF17's availability for JT.
And J-Team is eager to set up a potential dragon takedown, but Trace Esports is here to challenge. Hero's entrance should be available. Juju's calling as well could be a very good point. DY?
And then Body Sam going in for the knockup. Juju has no escape. There's no flash availability, and X1 will be able to get that kill. But Lee Sao coming into the top side, hoping to get that kill on the Soldier as well. With this potential explosive cast, disengages onto Lee Sao. Counter strike will not be enough to stop SEY. But the thing is, J Team will bring them down, every single one. They will win that team fight despite TE getting the Rift Herald.
Yep. And that's a very valuable trade if you're a J Team. Sure, you gave away the Rift Herald, but you were able to chunk down lots of tower plates here on the top side. The value of X1, starting it all by picking off one member on the side of Trace Esports, and they went and overcommitted an SZY. SZY was able to survive in the end using the flash, the hero's entrance, not hitting anyone. And again, the value of Soldier on this win. Man, oh man! Trace Esports it does look like that they will definitely feel the hurt of this lost team fight.
Yeah, and even if Soldier died coming in from that engage, it was enough time that was bought for
Exactly.
Zaya to come in, for Gragas to come in, and that was just his role coming into that Rift. They'll take it right now. Jax comes in, it's Lisao, goes in for the counter strike, but X1 dodges it, and now uses up the flash along with the X1, going to the backside, cease and desist onto X1, and X1 is gone, and now DY and SEY has to escape the reality here that they are losing on for that engage. They're back to safety, but TE got themselves a kill.
Debated how much as I praise X1 for his very formidable play. It was clear that he overchased and Weiba was there to punish. At one point, I was looking at the record of X1. Did I tell you that he's a very good Dragon laner?
Oh. Well,
yeah, he is. He is. To me, I think might just be the best Dragon laner that we have in CN. He's very aggressive. And you look at his record, he's 2-1-3. Prior to that misstep, he was 2-0-3, and that was the reason why he was feeling overconfident. But again, overconfidence will kill you most of the time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we saw it, right? A while ago, reverse sweep, game number series 1, the overconfidence coming for KD roster Y. A lot of mistakes here, but J-Team now looking into the bottom lane. It is Korn who is in danger. You still have the Sungwin pull. Will still save it. Hero's entrance. They have the priority onto the turret, and that will give J-Team a lot of distance, a lot of space, and a sacrificial lamb. It is Galio who falls.
Sacrificial gargoyle, lamb, whatever you want to call it. That's definitely a very proactive play coming in from J-Team, but Trace Esports does not want to surrender without a trade-off. I believe they were able to secure a tower on the top side. Lisao is very good at that on the Jax. And at, you know, with one item already completed for the Jax, this is why we don't often see the Renekton, right? Like, the Renekton is a very good team fighting champion, but not the best when it comes to side lanes.
Once again overextends. There's no more tier 1 turret here into the bottom lane. Weiba just comes in, shows themselves up, but Vault Breaker away.
Yep. And Weiba was super ready to back up Korn. In the event that X1 will be able to get assassination, but the advantage of X1, he's super aggressive. This is why, you know, fans are starting to take notice of X1's play. Because whenever he plays the Zaya, he's going to play it super aggressive, dude.
Lisao, counter-strike, as UI. But this typical Baron laner thinks it's sustainable overall. But as you mentioned, I'm liking what J-Team is doing, right? On top of X1's capability onto the ADC role, but also their macros, really just pressuring on Korn into the bottom lane. Because the thing is, that is a dependency for Trace Esports.
Truly, like, there's no way that they will be able to reset the top side. It's definitely going to favor the Jax from here on moving forward. So one way to equalize the advantage of the Jax is getting by himself, is to try to gank the other side of the map, right? In which they are successfully doing. And yeah, 9 minutes and 30 seconds with no objectives spawning, at least in the next few. It comes down to as to who's going to spawn up. Set up. And that will be the Ocean Dragon. Open for contestation here. J-Team wants this for sure to threaten that soul point.
Yeah, JT has information. Lisao is there. Just waiting on the brush. JT understands where Lisao is, but look at the positioning here for DY. Just waiting for the opportunity to come in. Now the culling is already used. Going to the back will not connect onto anyone. Huge chunk of damage lost. Coming into over the hills. It is J-Team. SCY who is in danger. Lisao is hoping for that kill. Red buff secured, but the Ocean Drake will be the target here. SCY once again in danger. Counter strike connect. The stun is there. Explosive cast. And that will be onto the attack. But this will be J-Team's time. And they will go in.
Soldier
backside. Soldier still single-handedly going in for the team fight alone.
Boom!
And that will be the kill. Trace Esports will get the Ocean Drake, but at the cost of their members' life.
Yeah, Soldier. Perfect placement. Perfect opportunity for the Gwen to make his impact felt. Like he was just at the middle of everyone snipping, using his sustain. And we'll look into that replay once again. There's a lot of commitment, overcommitment onto SZY. Like, there's no cease and desist, and that means that Weiba's impact in this particular team fight is not going to be as felt. And although Lisa was able to get that kill, basically got kited here by X1, allowing Soldier to just dive deep into this Dragon Pit. Weiba still doing Weiba things, was able to win that 50-50, but Soldier, dude, is starting to become scarier by the day.
Yeah, 100%. It's really, really scary for the side or the team, but yeah, it is Weibo who got the Dragon, the Ocean Break, but they lost so much members. And this is what we've mentioned, right? The team, they still have that possibility in looking for the values out from those team fights. And yes, Crazy Esports has a 2k gold lead, but that's not a massive advantage coming in 12 minutes into this game, because one team fight could really just change the whole tide of the game.
You're looking at the gap in the bot lane that was opened up by X1 stellar performance. 3-1-5, up 1.6k to his opponent in Juju. And may I remind you, Infinity, Crazy Esports invested their counter pick into Juju's hands on that Lucian.
Body slam on to tap, but gets cancelled, and now looking to the backside, it is X1, the target coming in from Crazy Esports. But this will be really difficult. A prolonged fight is not exactly what you want. Now J-Team has to disengage.
The value of Trace Esports AoE damage immediately got felt. Now Trace Esports, dark areas, Death Bush.
There's no info, and that will be the Justice Punch to start up the fight. PE will get the advantage, and J-Team will get landslided from that engage. And now with a number advantage, Trace Esports can start up the Baron Nashor.
Not yet done though, with CF17 returning into fray. It does look like the J-Team might still be able to challenge us. They just want information. Where are the members of J-Team? Sorry, Trace Esports. J-Team. They will still be in the position to contest this. How will Trace Esports play this?
They're starting. CF17 forces out the World Ender. You have Tack still in the front. Zoning away the enemy team with the Shield of the Red. Soldier and X1 still alive here, but TE turn things around. It's Soldier who has the target. The Flash Justice Punch. There's no escape for X1, and Soldier has to back away.
Wait, but still so good. Got that kill against X1, and that's the most important kill. X1 is the primary carry of J-Team alongside Soldier. So far, so good for Trace Esports. Although they were not able to secure the Baron, that's multiple kills to their name. They have the advantage now. 4k gold advantage. It's starting to become a lot scarier now for the side of J-Team. Juju may not have the best performance, but his teammates is carrying the load.
And now, good information gotten coming from DY as ZY being melted out by Juju, and Korn goes back into their very own jungle, and now Korn flashes in. There's no Sanguine Pole used up at the last moment to be able to escape that red buff. Takes his HP down very low, but JT will be able to go away unscathed along with TE as well, with Korn alive.
Yeah, Weiba again got another engage.
CC chain is going to be perfect, and now Gragas is deleted.
Oh man, Trace Esports, rinse and repeat. Let them learn their lesson the hard way. Tack, standing ground.
Justice Punch will not connect. Shield of the Hand charged up. SZY is stuck in between the hills, in between the walls. And CF17 and Soldier, SZY, every single one is very low for the side of JT. And that will be Trace Esports starting to Baron again. But remember what happened a while ago. They could turn things around here. They could turn and fight JT. Justice Punch connects onto SZY, followed up by Korn as well, putting out a lot of damage. CF17 going in with a Royal Ender, but TE, who has gotten the Baron already, will erase JT. 2v4 going in with a wall breaker along with a flash. CF17 falls down. X1 though has a lot of damage, and Korn has to retreat.
X1 by himself, making sure that JT won't get aced. Hemo play got last at the last second. The lifesteal coming in from the Bloodthirster, coming in clutch. But Trace Esports won that team fight handily, super steadily. Was able to get that Baron buff for themselves. Crazy play coming in from Trace Esports. They're maximizing their range advantage. They know that J-Team does have 4 melee members in their team, and there is no way for them to face check without any casualty. With that said and done, Trace Esports turned 3-4 times in a row and eventually got their prize in the Baron, and plus a bonus, Ice Dragon.
Yeah, it was like the Baron was in their favor, right? Every single time, because there's no information for J-Team, they constantly bait it out. And now Weiba positioning himself to a possible gank here into the bottom lane, but at this point in time, utilization Baron will be the priority.
A 1-3-1 split push is being put out here by Trace Esports, and J-Team scattered without unity in their team play, basically makes it a lot harder. SZY, not the best Renekton performance so far.
And now the calling to just clear out the wave has the possibility to put down the inhibitor turret into the mid lane. And J-Team really struggling here against Trace Esports on their push in every single lane.
Corn might just be able to get a solo kill onto SZY. SZY needs to respect it. Ignite taking onto his head. This is why Renekton is no longer favored in the meta. That side lane pressure is basically becoming so apparent right now that the Renekton is losing his value. Corn got slowed down by a bit. But he's okay, Infinity.
He's okay for now. Crazy Esports still a massive lead, 8.7k gold lead, with only inhibitor turrets left for the side of J-Team, with 2 Drakes in their favor as well. It's looking like a road to success here for Crazy Esports for game 1.
Yeah, Crazy Esports will just continue to do their pressure. Although you have to commend J-Team for standing their ground, not surrendering any inhibitor turret. It's actually a very good sign, especially against a Baron push that was started by Trace Esports. Now in 30 seconds, Elder Dragon will spawn up. There's a massive and a sizable advantage to the side of Trace Esports. They are up 8.5k so far. Now we've seen crazy things today, Infi. We've seen, you've seen a lot of crazy things today. Will a J-Team improbable comeback happen just to make things a lot crazier?
And DY build will be really important here. If it ever comes down into that final moment of importance, DY body stab along with explosive cat forces out Corn into a bad position, but TE good reaction. Just going in for the counter engage up against J-Team. Now Lisa jumps through with counter strike along with the cease and desist.
Hero's entrance.
Soldier was the target, and now with Hero's entrance zones away J-Team. Elder Drake now being started by J-Team.
Corn needs to go back. He can't do a thing. Less than half health. DY
body slam onto Hueba. That is a jungler coming from TE. Importance coming into the Dragon's Pit. But now Soldier is gone. It is Crazy Esports who has the advantage. X1 forces out the flash over the hills here. 17 still alive though. Elder Drake already down to half HP. And JT only has 2 members left coming into this matchup. Well, that's already used, but Juju melts the HP bar of CF17 with Corn at the back as well. Elder Drake already secured.
Why a godly team fight coming in from Trace Esports. Although Corn surrendered almost 100% of his HP, it did not matter. With the Elder Dragon, it should be enough to secure game number 1 for Trace Esports.
Now Hueba wants a little bit more kills as well. DY in danger, but the Nexus is open. TE strikes first in a series.
Very methodical, very good actually. That was a very entertaining game to cast, Infi. And at one point, X1 was really carrying JT's mantle so hard.